Greetings viewers, welcome to Eat and Health Nuggets. Today is our first episode of the Nutrition and Lifestyle series. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at respiratory conditions or diseases that are associated to our lifestyles or can be managed through lifestyle modification. Firstly, we're going to look at asthma. Asthma is a disease or a condition where the airways have become so inflamed and they start to swell up, excess mucus is produced, and it makes it very difficult to breathe. The three forms of asthma, or the common forms of asthma, are exercise-induced asthma, allergy-induced asthma, or occupational asthma. These are caused by irritants or pollutants that irritate our airways as we breathe. Other causes can also include animal fare, dust, or food substances or food chemicals that trigger asthma attacks. Symptoms of asthma include wheezing, coughing, tightness of chest, and overall difficulties in breathing. So how then can we change our lifestyles so that we can be able to manage asthma? If an individual is affected by asthma, they need to try by all means to stay away from triggers that result in flare-ups. So these triggers would be pollen grains, irritants, or any other dust particles or any other things that cause a person to start to have attacks or to start to feel discomfort. There are several mechanisms or several ways that we can try in our day-to-day lives to support individuals with asthma. Some of it can be just helping them choose the right foods, and these are the foods that we're going to just look at briefly in this episode. I'll talk of sulfites that we find in foods. Sulfites are commonly found in dried fruits or dried nuts. They can be used in pickles or canned foods, and sometimes you find them in other foods as well, as it is used as a common preservative. So individuals affected with asthma should stay away from sulfites as they trigger flare-ups. Now let's look at chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, COPD. So this is a group of conditions that comprises of two conditions, emphysema and also chronic bronchitis. Chronic bronchitis is when your airways are so inflamed that it makes it very difficult to breathe. And emphysema, the alveoli of the lungs become so damaged that they can't stretch or they become a little bit rigid, also making it very difficult to breathe. Water can even start to accumulate in the lungs. So what causes CPD? This is caused by long-term exposure to smoke, either by cigarette smoke or other smoke forms due to burning fuels during cooking or heating up our homes and workspaces. It can also be caused by air pollution. Symptoms of COPD include chronic cough, mucus production, and difficulties in breathing. So lifestyle approaches that we can accommodate in our lives include improving ventilation in our homes when we're cooking or otherwise heating up our homes. It also includes staying away from smoke or trying to prevent air pollution. If you do smoke, then it's about time to quit smoking, because the long-term consequences of the smoke can actually lead to conditions like lung cancer. Nutritional management of COPD is not entirely focused on the disease, but rather to support the respiratory system. We can include things like magnesium or any food sources that contain magnesium like almonds, just to try and relax our muscles to make breathing much easier. People affected by COPD can lose weight. This is because when breathing is difficult, it also makes it easy. It also makes it difficult, rather, to eat and digest your food properly. So energy expenditure is a little bit high for these patients. As a result, we need to try and increase a little bit of the calorie intake such that they can be able to sustain the energy for their bodily functions. Also, increasing protein is really good so that we help to improve muscle atrophy. As I mentioned that the alveoli start to become rigid and they can't stretch, so we want to support the muscles and the cell development as well. In a nutshell, we need to try and modify our lifestyle practices. Other than that, we need to improve our diet so that it includes anti-inflammatory foods, also high potent antioxidant foods as well. These foods include onions, pineapples, bell peppers, certain fruits and vegetables that possess phytonutrients that can aid the body to fight off free radical damage and make breathing much easier. It is very crucial and important that if we correct our diet or if we correct the foods that we take, we can be able to manage these respiratory conditions. Certain nutrients that we can include as food sources or otherwise food nutrients are bromelain, NAC, quercetin, resveratrol, and we can also include certain herbs in our diets in form of teas or as food, or even use them as spices. And examples are stinging nettle. It can also be fenugreek, eucalyptus, just to mention a few. So when we can correct our diet or when we look at our lifestyle, it is very easy for us to be able to manage these lifestyle conditions. Please join us on our next episode next Thursday.